The easiest way to do this, first of all, is to select the entire project, okay? And that means actually the easiest way to do this is to go up into the yellow line. This is the looper tool, and just select the whole thing, okay? Now, some of you might have, for instance, like it ends right here or whatever. It's really important that you go beyond the end of your project, okay? Because if you have like big reverbs, they need to ring out and finish, right? And if you cut it right at the end of the last note, then it's not going to render properly and you'll have like a cutoff at the end. So you want to give it what's called a tail at the end. And I think actually Logic has a new reverb tail add button you can select. So once I select this whole thing, all I have to do is go up here to File, Bounce, okay? And then what I want to do is bounce the project or selection, okay? Now I'm going to bounce the entire, well, the selection is the entire project right now. Notice it's also Command B, right? So if I hit Command B, it's going to open up this dialog. And what I'm going to do is it's saying, okay, it's going to start at the beginning, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, end at 195, which is the end of my project. And this is designated based off of the yellow boundary, okay? If I set the yellow thing to the whole project, then those numbers will correspond with that side, the whole thing. Okay, now you can make all kinds of different things. If you want to make an MP3 also, so you can send it to your mom easily, that's fine. You make an MP3, it'll literally make 2 files. But it's also going to make an AIF file and an MP3. I want a full quality audio project, so please do a PCM AIF at 24-bit. It's perfect. If I click on the include audio tail, that's really useful too, and I can just do an offline bounce, okay? Now I'm also going to have you add a couple of effects onto your projects before you bounce them, and I'll show you that too. So what this is going to do now, I'm going to leave normalizing off, okay? So once I have this all looking just like this, I say okay. And then it's going to say, where do you want this file? And I'm going to say the desktop, and I'm going to call this Lyri Final or whatever. And I'm going to say bounce, okay? And now it's bouncing my whole project into a stereo pair, okay? So it takes a couple minutes. Depending on how complicated your project is, it'll take longer. Garrett has actually a lot of tracks in here of audio. Most of them are hidden. Most of them are collapsed down, but there's many, many tracks here. So this is taking a fair amount of time for a 4-minute song. Okay, done. So now on my desktop is an audio file called Lyri Final, okay? Now what I really recommend you do is open it up in some other program, or drag it into Logic as a file and play it on an audio track, play it in iTunes, whatever, press the space bar and preview play it. What you want to do is make sure the whole thing is there and make sure it's what you expected, okay? All your effects are processed correctly. There's no metronome. It's not a piano solo, okay? And then you save it, and you're done. Well, it's already saved. If I made any changes, I mean, I might have to rebounce it if it was wrong, right? And that's it. That's how you bounce your project, okay? Now, let me show you a couple of things I want you to add onto your projects actually right now. So if you're doing a Logic project, please follow along with me and do the same exact thing, okay? So now Garrett's track here is kind of complicated, but I'm going to go to the stereo output, okay, which is probably what you're seeing on the far left here, on the right channel strip. The stereo output, which is my main output. I can also go to the mixer. If I click Command 2, this pulls up the mixer. I'm going to go over here, and I can see the stereo output is over here, okay? It's right next to the master. It's the last stop before going out the master, okay? So what I want to do is I want to add some effects to this. And I'm going to add some very simple things to make this sound a little better and work better. So the first one is going to be an EQ, and you're going to choose a single band stereo EQ. okay? Single band stereo EQ. So I go to EQ, single band stereo. And this should be the first effect that you add to your project, okay? Now once you click on that, it's going to open this, right? There it is, the stereo EQ. Very important here is that I turn my frequency down to 20. Okay? If you leave it at 1,000, then your project's going to sound like an old telephone. Right? All the frequencies below 1,000 are being removed. This is a filter. So I'm just filtering out the bottom 20 hertz. They can't be heard anyways, and it's just to get it out. Okay? You do get artifacts down below the 20 hertz range in music, so just getting rid of it like this is good. Okay? So make sure you set this at 20 hertz. Okay? And then we're going to do one other thing. I'm going to go to Dynamics. Okay? Sorry, Dynamics. Adaptive Limiter, stereo. Okay? And the adaptive limiter is going to go right below the channel EQ that you just put in. You all right? So that's going down to 20. Oh, wait. No, sorry. That is it. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Right, so once I open this, the adaptive limiter is really nice. It's kind of a limiter and a compressor, and it will just make your track sound bigger and louder, and it'll make your quiet things sound louder, and make your loud things manageable in volume, okay? Now I'm going to select under factory defaults, average limit, okay? Factory defaults, average limit is the preset I'm putting in. And what this is going to do, what you should do now is listen to what you've got after you add these two things. Honestly, you shouldn't really hear much, okay? If you hear it sounds drastically different, then you probably didn't set the filter down to 20 hertz, okay? Yeah. Yeah, because where's the other one though? The other one should be before that.
Oh, okay.
Where did you put it? If you put it somewhere else, it doesn't matter. Just go there, go down to EQ, go to single band, yep, stereo, and then turn this down to 20. And these should be the other like single band EQ should be above the first one, so just drag it up,
okay.
and they'll swap positions.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You guys all good? So you should listen to your project now, okay? And I know you guys aren't finished, but it shouldn't sound that different. It should sound a little bit better. It should sound brighter and larger. But other than that, it shouldn't sound any different, okay? You should not hear the EQ. If you hear the channel EQ, and then you need to turn it to, you miss the frequency change. Okay? Where's Brandon? Brandon's not here either. So, and other than that, that is it. So what this is going to do also for me is that when you render all your tracks and bounce them, they'll all be at a kind of a normalized level. They're all going to be a similar loudness. I won't have to do any major editing to them, okay? But they'll be kind of ready to go. All right? Any questions about this at all? No? Okay, so I'm going to go around now and kind of see where you're at, okay? And please, I can't stress enough, you guys, we have this concert coming up, and we're kind of out of time in class. So please feel free to email me outside of class. Send me a bounce of your track if you are worried about something, or you think it sounds bad, or you are stuck or something. Please reach out to me, yeah? I'm here to help you. See you later. Other than that, I think we're good to go. So, your project's the only complicated one. We will have to do like a run through.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Like a rehearsal?
Yeah, nothing big.